presentation is brought to you by Smoooth Productions.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a special edition of Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. I am your boy Smoooth with 3 O's. Yes, it's still morning time, 11 a.m. That's why I say it's a special edition, but it's for a special reason. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all are enjoying a wonderful Friday. Might be a little light rain today. You know how it is in the Midwest, but we're going to still make things do what it do. Y'all know how it goes. Need y'all to go ahead and scan the QR code right now and support any and all things under the Smoooth Productions umbrella. You have Smooth Moments. Need some photography, videography, drone services done. I got you. Let's make that happen. I also have 3 other podcasts. I have the Platform Sports Talk Show Network. Goes down every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So for the sports lovers out there, let's go ahead and make that happen. Every first Wednesday of the month, you have Ladies Night, called the best panel of ladies who love sports. So yes, these are some ladies who know their stuff. Try if you want to, but they know their stuff. Every last Wednesday of the month, you have the Man Cave where anything can go down. And then in between those weeks, you have the main show where I host, along with the panelists from Ladies Night and from the Man Cave. Going back to Beat District Radio and the station and everything, make sure I go to beatdistrictradio.com or download the app. Shouts out to my district family. Need y'all to also go to YouTube, Smooth Conversation, Smooth with 3 O's. Like, subscribe, share, and spread the word. As I mentioned on last night's show, which I had with Clinton Mall, we called Diverse. Amazing conversation I had with him. But we also wanted to put out the importance that we understand, we love the likes, we love the comments, but it's even more important to just hit that share button, because what this is going on and what other people are doing, more people can know about this by just hitting that share button. So go ahead and hit the share button right now, no matter if you're watching right now on Facebook, on YouTube, maybe even on the X. So check us out right there. And going back to the station, Beat District Radio, if you want to have your business represented, you want to have an ad placed no matter what time of the day on our station, or you want to sponsor the many shows like Rhythm and Flow, like our comedy show, Bigger Than the Stage, the Art of Love, our new DJ Love Hour station show, or the many other amazing shows under Beat District Radio. Shoot us the email, info@beatdistrictradio.com, and let's make that happen. Let's continue to just do big things for our community and for the world. But of course, it all starts right here, Beat District Radio, which I call the district. We celebrated just 1 year recently of being up on the air, Black owned, in the heart of Ferguson, right there inside Gamers Island. We will be moving very soon, so stay tuned for that. But we're doing so many great things at the district, so stay tuned for many more upcoming events coming your way. With that being said, enough of the promo. This woman here, we've been trying to make things happen for over a year. She's here, and she is a phenomenal woman. She is a documentary filmmaker, photographer, co-founder of RareCode.collective. When I say we've crossed paths a couple of times now, and I have truly been amazed by what I have seen and the work that she has done. And we just had a brief discussion about certain things that we're going to bring into the forefront here on Smooth Conversations. But she's also a mother. She's also a wife. And we know that with what she's doing with her field, that a lot of sacrifices has to be made. A lot of deep discussions, conversations have to be made to make sure everything works out. So definitely want to get y'all to go ahead and leave comments throughout the whole entire show. Let's interact. Once again, share this stream right now. This is all about giving flowers, being positive, having great conversation, just grown people conversations, because it's therapeutic. We need able to just share positivity and be able to let things out in a way that it's meant for things to be let out. I always say Smooth Conversations is my ministry. It's the reason why I do this. And I get the validation every time I have this show. So with that being said, it's an honor to have on Smooth Conversations the one, the only Alana Marie. How you doing, ma'am?
I am doing good. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Exactly. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are here in the TSC, the Saunders Experience, and we all got comments right now. Look at that.
Hi, Ashley.
There we go.
That's the homie. That's the homie. She's from St. Louis as well.
Hey, STL. The. There we go. See, you see how big the THEE is?
I
You know
love
what I'm saying?
I love her.
That's it. So just so you know, there's camera right there. That's all yours. So, so when people are leaving comments and you want to just tell them in their face,
tell them there.
Boom. So just for instance, you want to say what's up to your girl? Go ahead and do it right now.
Yeah. Hi, Ashley, girl. Thank you for always supporting. I want to take this moment because I'm, as you said, giving flowers. My maiden name is Flowers.
Really?
Yep. My maiden name is Flowers. But homegirl Ashley, she's an amazing designer, graphic designer, photographer, creative. She has a company called Artistry Studio. So if you're looking for a Black female creative to support, when I say my girl is cold, my girl is cold. So find her on Instagram, Ashley Nicole's, Ashley with 2 E's, no Y. And her company is called Artistry Studio. So like, yes, I want to hold space to make sure that people go and check her out because she cold.
Hey, so Ashley with 2 E's and 1 Y. This is Smooth with 3 O's. Let's collaborate.
Yes.
Let's collaborate. I'm all about collaborating, man, and making things happen. You know what I'm saying? No matter if it's here, no matter if it's wherever it is, let's collaborate because I know that you feel, and that's what I can tell from what I've seen the last couple of times we crossed paths about the power of collaboration.
Yeah.
So talk about that just from your standpoint and how much it means to you and especially amongst other women as well.
I would say that's probably been the core thing that has helped push my success along, whether that be from my husband, my co-collaborator in life. He's another fellow creative. And they just help see things in you that you probably didn't see within yourself. But there's no such thing as self-made. I don't care how much you think you've done by yourself. There was always somebody working and advocating on your behalf. A former teacher, a doctor, a social worker, a fan from online. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as self-made. So I know my bandwidth and I know my capacity and my limitations. So for things to cross the finish line, not just for the sake of having my name on it, but to bring things to life and say that they are complete. I learned that it is imperative to bring other people into the fold. Yeah.
And I always say that the money is never going to go out. No matter how hard the guy in DC is trying to.
Yeah. It be feeling like it be real tight. It be real tight. But it's endless.
It's not going to run out. And that's been one of the biggest topics that I always have with everyone who, especially from St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's just about that collaboration versus competition.
Yes.
Because we always had this mindset about, not everyone, but there's always been like this narrative about the crabs in the barrel.
It's heavy.
Why should I help you out? Because now you prevented me from getting my money. But once again, not everyone's going to be for you.
Yeah.
But there's always something for you.
Every time.
So for you, just talk about collaboration versus competition.
I've had, be myself personally, have had really good collaborative experiences. I've witnessed not so favorable collaborative experience, but it doesn't come down to the project in and of itself. It's the egos that are immersed inside the project and what your intentions are with what you're bringing into it. Most recently, as you know, we had the Future of Film, it's filmmaker showcase with other Black female filmmakers from St. Louis, and technically we're all in the same field. But we brought together an amazing showcase from just our work that we do, the visions that we have, we're able to give each other a second look to the work that we're doing, because sometimes we can be so immersed in the project itself that we never take time to give it an aerial view and to give it fresh breath. So a fresh pair of eyes is always good when it's something that you're working on. And it just helps lift the weight, the load that you're carrying, trying to do this stuff as a woman in a male-dominated industry. Like you said, it's a lot of sacrifices that go into this. And so a lot of people can't relate. I've even worked with several women, even just from the industries that I've worked in, from BET to Essence, they don't have kids.
Yeah.
So it's only so much that they can relate to in that facet. So to be connected to a Renaissance, to a Netta who understand, like, it makes it the ride that much more joyous, and we're completing projects.
Yeah.
Because that is the goal.
Yeah.
To complete it.
Exactly. So I'm glad you brought that up in regards to, you know, the event recently. But as I said before, you and I crossed paths. Well, first, let me go start off with this, is that the reason why you are back in town now is because of this event coming up. Let's go and talk about that.
That was quick. Yes. What y'all doing Saturday? Okay, pull up on me. So this Saturday, I am hosting a community screening and fundraiser for my second documentary titled Theater Roxanne. Those in the St. Louis area, many of you may be familiar with the story of Christian Ferguson, the young Black boy that went missing in 2003. So this is the story of his mother, and Christian's face has been embedded in my brain and in my spirit. I was 13 when he went missing. And so it was always a lingering question of, like, not only where is Christian, but how is his mother doing? And this is a part of the conversation when it comes to missing people that we often don't talk about, the loved ones left behind. So I had reached out to Theta a few years ago and asked would she be open to tell her story. So we've been working together for the past 5 years, and finally putting a bow on this project. Her birthday was this past Tuesday, so it's also a birthday celebration. But I would love for you to come out and join us at Saturday, April 11th at 12 p.m. It is at the St. Louis Public Library, the Central Library, or what people, I learned yesterday, they call it the main library. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Downstairs in the auditorium, it's the community screening, and it's a fundraiser. All proceeds will go to her nonprofit organization, Looking for an Angel, that supports families navigating the missing person process. So I would love for you all to come out and support.
So you mentioned that it's been how many years working on this? So was this like your longest project?
Kinlock was my longest project because it was my first project.
Oh, okay.
So I started Kinlock in 2016, didn't break out a camera until 2017, finished it in 2021. But I've learned as a documentarian that that's like the average length of time to finish a project. Theater probably would have been done quicker if I still lived in St. Louis. That living in Dallas and commuting to St. Louis, it's
something else.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Because when I would get my daughter, now she's able to ride on the plane by herself. Less money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I had to, you know, I would go to Dallas to get her. So, you know, I know that commute, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's like an hour and some change, but still the process of doing it.
Yeah.
But just talk about the patience that you have to have to be able to do these documentaries for 5 years and whatever it, you know, time frame it is. Talk about having that patience and not saying, okay, you know what, I got enough. Let me go ahead and get it out now. But you want to make sure that you get the right stuff.
Man, I would say for this project specifically, because I already had one under my belt, so I kind of knew what I was walking into and what to expect. But so much life happens in the process of trying to bring things to life. And the thing with documentary filmmaking, because it is a real story, they're real stories, but they also take shape on their own. And so I had to lead it in it with grace. Like I knew the idea that I had, the vision that I had, but what it ended up being isn't necessarily what it was from the beginning. So I moved to a different city. I had another daughter. I've had the 3 jobs in the midst, just trying to sustain myself. But the commitment was, I made a commitment to theater. I made a commitment to this process, to this journey. And so again, completion over perfection. And so the goal originally was like, I would love to do, you know, another 1 hour film. Kinlock is 54 minutes. And then you're like, okay, but does it have to be this? Can it still be effective and impactful in 30 minutes, in 20 minutes? What is my bandwidth? What is my capacity? How often can I get to St. Louis? I need money. And so you take in all these variables into account and you make it work for what's the best way I can convey the story? What's the best way I can get it out to the masses and still have energy when I'm done with the project?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's for what I saw last week. Was that last week?
2 weekends
ago.
ago.
2 weeks ago. It was amazing.
Thank
so
you.
For those who have not seen it,
Mhm.
as you said before, come on out.
Saturday,
Make it happen.
12 o'clock.
The main building.
The main with the steps.
Yep.
With all the steps.
Yeah, the workout steps.
Yes, it's in the basement. It's in the auditorium.
So let's make that happen. Then we have a comment here. Here we go. The perseverance.
We have a group chat. Have a group chat. So she knows, like, and that's another thing when it comes to building these projects, you cannot do them in silos. You can't do them in silo. You can't, you got to get out of your head. You got to get out of your head and just get sound feedback, sound counsel from people that are also in the industry to help give you feedback and to give you reprieve.
Yeah.
There were moments I had to step, like, this project is so heavy. It is very, very heavy. And we prayed before every production day. And there were moments where we just had to kind of take a step back and just breathe, because you'll get so engrossed in, like, the technicalities of the project. But, like, this is a story about a mom with a missing child. And then when you learn the details of not only a missing child, but the person that you made the child with had a hand in your child's disappearance. This is a real human with real trauma, with a real story. This, as a director, and just having to get out of that scope. And so having to remind myself, like, yes, I want to bring this to completion, but also you keep the humanity part of it. And that can get really, really heavy. So
pretty much it was hard, or was it hard for you to leave the emotion?
Yeah.
Especially with you being a mother.
Yeah. I get enmeshed in these projects. With Kinlock, my family's from there. And so I immersed myself in the work, not just as a director, but I worked with the Kinlock Reunion Committee to help bring the Kinlock Forever Festival. People who went to school with my aunts and my uncles and my dad. I remember, like, anytime I would be on Facebook and maybe an article or something would pop up about Kinlock, and I'll be in the comments and then I'll backspace because I'm like, that ain't my role.
Yeah.
I'm a director.
Yeah.
But I get real defensive when I immerse myself in these projects. And so similar with Theta, it was hard. It was very hard because you see yourself. My producer is a mom, Netta.
Mm-hmm.
My DP, Demetria, is a mom. So, like, and that was very intentional. All Black women and mothers, because they understood from that aspect. So that part was hard, but we got it done.
So was she initially not saying against it, but was it hard to convince her to do this project?
Actually, no. When I reached out to her, she was open. Christian's case was still happening.
Yeah.
And so it was more so a matter of not wanting to do anything to jeopardize the integrity of the case, which I don't think the project would have, but just, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And so the case was happening at the time, and then the father ended up getting convicted that following year. And so I think in 2022, we had just bought a house. I was pregnant with my youngest, and so gave it some more breathing room to, like, this is all new for everybody. I reached back out to her at the end of 2023, and she was like, okay, it's go time from here.
Let's go. No, I love it. And, just be able to have that story told for others to be able to see. If like I said, for those who haven't seen it, check it out and see how impactful it is. But as I mentioned before, that you and I crossed paths a couple years ago at this event. So talk about this event.
Who is that girl?
Who's that girl? But I'll talk about the importance of her imminent reign. She believed that whole month was just nothing but amazing meetups and celebration for everything that Marina was doing for her project, and what you and please tell me his name again on the left.
Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn. Just so many people was doing so many great things. So talk about the importance of that day and that moment.
This was such a beautiful day. Shout out to Marina Renaissance, another amazing, amazing creative here in St. Louis. So this project, her docuseries, She Believes. So this was her first documentary project that she ever did, because she's known for photography.
Right.
And so she had brought me on towards the latter end of the process and was like, okay, I have all this footage, I have this idea, like help me put the story together. So that was my role. So I came on as a story producer for this project, and it turned out to be a very, very beautiful project. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend that you do. But we had so much fun this weekend. This was my first Her Imminent Rain event that I ever attended. I've only seen it online. So to be in it, I'm like, this is dope. Like a room full of beautiful Black women, our male allies, of course, but ain't no egos, ain't no competition. It's beautiful energy, it's praises, it's affirmations, is she cultivates this space so beautifully and so naturally. So to experience that, I'm grateful. So they flew me out from Dallas, of course. But that was my first Her Imminent Rain experience.
So how did y'all cross paths?
Marina is so her and myself, Netta, we were all a part of a media production program called Continuity. I was a part of the inaugural cohort in 2017, but Marina was one of my students the following year. And so we met, I want to say 2 years later, we met in 2019. She was a student, and then COVID happened. So it's been some years. So I knew her as the photographer.
Got you. Got this photo of her.
Who is she? Where's all that hair? My God. That is crazy. You did your research, okay? Man. No, that was a beautiful experience.
Yeah, so that's how we met. The microphone that she's holding, that's one of the other many Smoooth production microphones and setup that I had for the event. And then, of course, we had the event 2 weeks ago. Yes. So the reason why I showed this photo, because it's easy for me to show the photo, everyone dressed up, makeup, the whole night after the event 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to show this photo because it was the grind.
Man, that was our tech walkthrough. I had just flew in from Dallas. I was working because I work remotely. Y'all don't see it, but the laptop on the couch, because I'm still working at the time. And, we trying to make sure the audio is correct. We're trying to make sure, we're direct people for parking. Marina got all 11 of her kids in attendance. But yeah, just making sure, and we're doing this from the ground up. These are indie creatives, indie productions, indie projects. So from the marketing to the promo to the making of the film to the output, and making sure that we're retaining our supporters and that we're following up so that they know what we're doing. We're from ideation to execution, our hands on every piece of these projects. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah. And the magic that I saw that night, what I'm saying, it was just great for me to see. Because I actually had Khadijah on Smoooth Conversations a while back.
I love Khadijah.
Marina, she's already been on, but just to be able to see so many ladies just come together and just do so many amazing things, I would just really like, this is dope.
Yeah.
And this is a moment that more people need to see realize.
For sure.
Definitely need to see that and realize that, man. So once again, that was a great moment. And I know that it's going to be so many more great moments as y'all continue to collaborate hers.
Yes.
Direct hers.
Yes.
Own hers. All that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely look forward to to meeting more things that's coming up. So what I love to do is definitely just go all the way back, man. So let's talk about you as a kid, the person that you are now. How would you see yourself and say about who you were as a kid and how your childhood was?
To be honest, as I reflect, I feel like I'm just tapping into baby Alana. I grew up, I'm only girl. I have an older brother and a younger brother. So I grew up with siblings, but I spent a lot of time by myself. I spent a lot of time in my room. I spent a lot of time writing, creating, playing. At one point, I wanted to be an interior designer. I just like creating things. I also loved watching documentaries in Lifetime. I would be 11 years old watching Lifetime on a Sunday. I have a very old spirit about me. And I love collecting things. I would be the person, if we would go out of town as a family, I would save receipts and put it in a scrapbook to show that I had been somewhere outside of St. Louis. I would collect seashells and stuff like that. So I was archiving and documenting before I had even had a conception of this could be an actual profession. So even in school, I would bring my camera to school and I'll be the one with the camera doing this and taking it to Walgreens or having a thumb drive and uploading entire albums on. I need to go back and delete some of those probably because they look a mess, but physically printing pictures for the fun of it before I even knew it was an actual profession. So I'm just coming into who I have always been freely.
Yeah.
And for people who grew up with me or who know me, all the stuff that I'm doing now, at least I don't think it should be. It's not a surprise. It's very on brand. Like that makes sense. Like that's Alana. That's what she's been doing. Except just getting paid to do it now.
Right. What is something, because I'm big on nostalgia. I think that's one of the biggest things about Smoooth Conversations is remembering how great it was and how great we had it back in the day. So what's something now that you miss in regards to nostalgia moments or just things that you used to do as a kid or just growing up that you wish could kind of come back now?
Interestingly enough, not having social media, and I work in social media. I'm a social media manager. But I do not envy, I have a 16-year-old that'll be 17 in September, and I tell her all the time, I don't envy being a teenager in this day and age. Like when stuff happened at school, if you ain't see it, you heard about it through word of mouth. If you ain't see the fight at lunchtime, you just didn't see it. Like when you got on the internet, it's when you got home and you got AOL dial-up after school. Everything is so immediate. And anything that you do can be showcased to everybody without your consent. And it could impact you gravely without your consent. And so I'm constantly having conversations with my daughter, just like being mindful of when you're out this house, be mindful of what you say, be mindful of what you do, because you don't know everybody's intentions.
Right.
And one decision that you make can replay without your consent. The stuff that you post, the stuff that you send people, it's like you have to be way more cautious about your decision making, which you have to do anyway, but it's pure innocence can be taken into the wrong hands.
And I mean, like even for me, it's rare that I post anything personal.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a photo or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Something, you know, like, hey, got married, you know, whatever it is. But like my opinions on this or on that.
You gotta be careful.
And especially because I'm a brand.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, people are looking.
Yep.
So and that's very important for those who are businesses.
Yeah.
If you are a brand yourself, is that we have to be mindful before we hit send.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just do things out of reaction, boom. And then, someone already screenshotted it.
Literally.
So by the time you delete it, no, it's on TMZ.
The internet never dies. The internet never dies. I followed Kev on stage and his wife, and I saw a thread of her saying like they send each other stuff in group text or to each other to get it out of their system. And they'd be like, don't post that. Don't post that. I'm gonna say it to you so I can get it out, but don't post that, because people love to take what you say and give you what your intentions are, and you know that's not what I meant. But in this climate, everything is so tense. Everybody is on the edge of getting canceled.
So sensitive.
On the brink of getting canceled for one reason or another. Yeah, everything.
It is.
Yeah,
and it is sad because I had last night on Smoooth Conversations. He's a comedian, Clinton Mall. His name Diverse, and he said that's the reason why he stopped doing comedy. It's because of the whole cancel culture. You know, and so he was like, he couldn't say certain things without people. Like last night, he said that initially the way that he was able to get over nerves was when he would see someone who he considered ugly.
Okay.
And that would get him over. But he didn't say it, you know what I'm saying, on stage or like, hey, what's up? You know, he would always say he'll call out the pretty girls because he didn't want to have the other ladies who may have had self-doubt being embarrassed by getting talked about.
Right.
You know, unless you was a heckler, then
it's fair game.
Boom. But to the point that, you know, now he's just focusing on playwriting.
Yeah.
He might be watching right now. I told him to watch today because of what you do. But you know, he's a playwright. He does screenplays. You know, kind of like what Tyler Perry was doing. He first started, you know, create his own stages. So he had to kind of leave the comedy life alone because, once again, people are so sensitive
Mm-hmm.
about any and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's crazy. But with that, you mentioned school, so I got to ask the St. Louis question: what high school did you go to?
I went to Hazelwood West.
Oh, okay, down off of what's the name? Okay,
On How to Share.
yeah, how to share.
Class
Okay,
08. I went to Hazelwood West.
okay.
And then I went to the University of Missouri Columbia, Mizzou, for
My
undergrad.
wife went there too.
Okay, MIZ.
Yeah,
And then I went to WashU for grad school.
nice.
Mhm.
Okay.
First in my family to graduate from college.
So, what activities were you in during high school?
All leadership. Again, very on brand. I was a peer leader. I was the vice president of my senior class, student council. I played basketball in high school, pure hobby. I wasn't doing nothing.
I mean, because you are tall.
I'm tall, but
Okay.
yeah, I that's where it stayed. My baby girl, that's her thing. That's what she do. A lot of leadership activities. I worked, so I had co-op. I went to school half a day, went to work the other half of the day because I had enough credits to graduate. Graduated with a 4.3 GPA.
Wow.
Again, like it's very on brand. The stuff that I'm doing right now, it makes sense and having fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy my high school experience.
So, what led to going to Columbia or Mizzou? Excuse me.
Ooh, it was an hour and a half from the crib.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of it. The other half, dating my high school sweetheart, and didn't want to be too far. He went to SIU Carbondale at the time. I actually had a full ride to Alabama A&M, and I was like, that's too far. That's too far. Probably should have went.
I'm about to say
save myself some money.
That, but also the experience of being at an HBCU.
Yes.
Do you miss not having that experience?
I don't think I missed out. Maybe because I'm used to being in Hazelwood West was predominantly white when I went there, but we had a nice core group of Black students, similar with Mizzou, predominantly white. But my core group, who I hung around with, who I went out with, who I, when I had classes, I went to class, went home. But despite all the stuff that's going on in the media right now with Mizzou, which
that's terrible,
man, I would not recommend.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, they just announced that they took away one of their diversity programs.
Mm-hmm. The Legion of Black Collegians, the LBC, Black Student Governance Organization at the university. But they just it's been ongoing, right? I mean, it's Missouri. So at this day and age, I wouldn't recommend you send your child there if you are a person of color. But when I was there, I did enjoy my time at school. And because I got pregnant at 18, I got pregnant at 18, came home for a year and a half, stayed up with all my credits. I was working with my advisor at Mizzou who was telling me what to take. So I went to Flow to continue my coursework, went to UMSL to continue my coursework. When my daughter was 15 months, we went back to Mizzou, got an apartment, found her daycare, had my car, and then I ended up crossing the stage with my same cohort that I came in with. So
talk about your reaction when you realized, because I'm sure it wasn't planned.
I'm an open book, okay? I'm an open book. Listen. Yeah. We were my high school sweetheart. We were 18 at the time. Probably didn't even realize that it could happen, but you're saying you think you're in love, you enmeshed in the stuff. So I ended up getting pregnant. We never went to the same school, but of course, being that young was like, there was responsibility is on me.
Right.
Responsibility is on me. And I'm forever grateful for my parents. I'm forever grateful for my grandparents, because even when I came back to St. Louis, like my mom's parents watched her one half of the week. My dad's mom watched her the other half of the week while I was still in school and I was still working. So I have a very, very supportive family who, of course, were disappointed in my decision-making, but I never let up.
So, all right, here we go. Let's set up the stage right here. Okay.
Okay.
Let's set up the stage. Okay, babe. I'm pregnant. Oh, well, you gotta tell your mom and your dad, or your parents, whatever. Mm-hmm. So now that phone call, hey mom, I'm pregnant. What did she say?
She said, no, you're not. I said, I started crying. I was crying. Actually, so my daughter's godfather, I called his mom first. I was like, I need a motherly figure to have the conversation with to like get it out. She was like, oh, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. So I called my mom. She said, no, you're not. And I'm like, okay. So I told her I'm crying, and then I remember her asking me like, okay, so like, what do you want to do? Like, I need you to write down all of your options, like a pro and con list. I need you to write down, you know, all the pros and the cons of keeping, adoption, and then of course terminating the pregnancy. And I didn't even have to make the list because I knew I wanted to keep, you know, my baby. So that was my mama. So at the time, my dad was working at General Motors, and it was like, okay, I want to wait until like, you know, maybe when he's off work and I can have time and tell him, like, you know, because I don't know how he's gonna react, but I never got a chance to tell him. So this was in January. This was in January, and I think I came home February over the Valentine's holiday because I think the President's Day was that Monday, so he'd be off work. This is also during the time of basketball playoffs here in St. Louis, and my daughter's dad played. He graduated in 2008, but he was back watching the playoff games or whatever at his old high school, and my dad was going to the game to watch the game to the playoffs, and the coach's wife, the coach's wife, Ashley, you know he did. The coach's wife came up to my dad and was like, "How do you feel about being a grandpa?" And that's how my dad found out.
Oh,
that's how my dad found out. And so, yeah, I hadn't told him yet. So he leaves the game. And I found out that's what happened. So I called my daughter's dad and was like, "I know you're on your way to the game. Don't go. You might not live. Don't go." So I don't know if he ended up going to the game, but like my dad comes home irate and he's just like, "You ain't going back to Mizzou, and how you let this happen?" And then at the end of the conversation, he just like opens his arms and hugs me and was like, "I know you got to be so scared." I wasn't expecting that, so I just broke down. And I finished my semester off at Mizzou. I came back home when I was 5 months pregnant. So my last day of class, I had my last final. I had a doctor's appointment. I found out I was having a girl, packed up my apartment, moved back to St. Louis, enrolled in summer classes, enrolled in work, and I just kept it. I kept it. And so both my grandmothers were like, as long, you know, as we hear, your baby ain't gonna never need for diapers, they ain't gonna never need for wipes. And so like when I say my core village is what sustained me in my postpartum. Because of course you're that young, the baby come into play, y'all were already having issues that just, you know, escalates it or whatever. So I'm just grateful for, and even on her father's side, her aunts, her grandmother, RIP. So I had a lot of support in making sure that I got my degree. That was never up for question. I don't know how long it would take me, but that was never up for question. I was going to graduate.
And who would you say was that person that, because what I'm seeing, you goal getter.
For sure.
Not just goal, but goal getter. So who would you say is that person that you feel you got that goal get it mentality from?
I feel like the elders in my family in their own way. Like my dad is always on the move. My mom is one of like consistency in order. And she's like an archivist. She's the 23andMe family history. I'm learning that about myself the older that I get. My grandpa, Marvin, like he was a chef. He worked at the casino. He used to be a cop. He used to work at Hostess. Like when he passed, I'm like, the obituary could have had a self-made carpenter. It's like, as long as I'm alive and I can use my hands and my feet are on the ground, like I can learn how to do stuff. And so just being able to learn more about him and just how he maneuvered, I get a little bit from everybody, for sure.
No, I love it. Once again, this is Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. It's your boy Smoooth with 3 O's, and around the couch we have
Alana Marie.
In the building, the TSC, the Saunders Experience. We chopping it up, you know, just grown people conversation. That's all we having. So going back to being a mother at 18, correct? And if y'all hear a lawnmower, we do apologize. You know, during the day, so it's different. You might hear some extra sound, so we apologize if y'all hear that. But that's what happens when you live. It happens.
It is what it is.
But being a mother, 18 years old, how old is your daughter?
16.
Okay, so we all know how parents be like, all you had is so I had it made out that by the time you maybe 25, whatever. They have a certain expectancy.
Yeah.
Because our parents saw it. They just I raised you to have it at, be married first and had this together, the whole white picket fence.
Yeah.
So now with your daughter, 16, are you already using your experiences that you've gone through as a mother to tell her and let her be aware of?
Yeah.
Be smart about what you do.
Don't even bring it to my doorstep. No, we have me and my husband have very real and candid conversations with her because we can't afford not to. The accessibility for her generation is way too much to where by the time she comes to us with stuff, it's like you've already heard about it. So let me at least put some truth to what you're hearing because y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
Uh-huh.
So learning about her body, I remember like before her cycle, I had bought a book for her to read so she can know. So if it happens when she's not with me, she's not scared. Like it's very hard to do, but I don't want to raise my daughter out of fear. It is very, very, very hard to do. But I don't want her to leave my house and just be so green that anybody can say something to her and she just
really? That's
I put her on game. My husband put her on game. She's very self-aware. Not just myself, my in-laws. I live 3 minutes away from my husband's parents. So again, village.
Hey, actually, it's the same way here.
Listen,
her parents stay 5 minutes away from here.
Yeah. Literally, it's imperative. Like when I lived here in St. Louis, we had Sunday dinners with my parents every single Sunday. My core group, so we have a large Mizzou network of class because my husband went to Mizzou as well.
Okay.
Of people we went to school with, like that's them the cousins. Like we hang with each other. Like there's a certain core group of people who I find value in their words and their influence. So I'm not the only one talking to my daughter because sometimes it's like I'm mama. Right. We have a really good relationship, but there are other people and I'm like, talk to her. Her coach, for instance, I love her coach. So I have a lot of people that are playing a role into helping me rear my daughter so she can at least I tell her all the time, please make smart decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Please make smart decisions.
Yeah.
You gonna do it with your chest, but please make smart decisions.
Yeah. And not physically chest.
Like if you gonna do it, stand in it, but please make smart decisions.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier about you was that young girl with the camera in the hand and everything. So talk about this photo right here.
Oh my goodness. So this day, we had a contract with Pattern Beauty. My husband and myself, they had a pop-up at Ulta in Dallas. And my husband did the video and I did the photography. And that was like our first big working with the professional brand like Pattern Beauty. I'm a Canon girl. My husband is Sony. I'm Canon all the way. I'm Canon too.
Yeah, I got you.
Yes, like the colors, you can't beat it. Yeah. But shout out to my husband too, because he's the one that taught me photography. Him, Lindy Drew with Humans of St. Louis. She's another fellow social worker, because I'm sure we're probably going to get into the conversation about just my background in education. But she taught me that the art of portrait when it comes to photography. But yeah, so my husband and I had a joint gig that day and I was happy. Like, I got Pattern Beauty on my resume.
What was it about photography that, you know what, I want to do that?
Honestly, in grad school, I had a online thrift and vintage store called May's Closet in honor of my grandmother, Willie Mae, to like help sustain myself through grad school and to make a little extra cash. And I was taking my own pictures. So my husband bought me my first Canon Rebel T2i, and I was taking my own pictures of the products that I would put on the website. Also at the same time as when I got into the world of filmmaking and started doing Kinlock. So when I had my camera, I was like, okay, I want to know what all of these buttons do. Essentially, like this is an expensive gadget. I want to know what it does. And so that's how I ended up getting into photography. I reached out to Lindy Drew with Humans of St. Louis because we collabed on some stuff for Kinlock. And she took me out around the city because the goal of Humans of St. Louis is to talk to people around the region and learn their stories, take their portrait in real time, how they look and feel where they are, and then interview their story in real time. And she trained me in the streets of St. We were in the Del Mar Loop that day. I think it was in December of 2018. And she taught me like the art of interviewing and portrait, like real-time portrait. And I loved it. It's quicker than video.
Yeah.
But making people feel good on the other side of my lens, or they'll see a picture and they'll say like, I've never seen myself in that way. I love that feeling.
Yeah, and that's something that with Smooth Moments, I officially started that up over the last year, taking it serious. So that Canon that you see right there, that was gifted from her parents, because they were like, you know what, we've had it, but we don't use it.
Yeah,
and we know what you do.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, so now I actually use that exact camera to do a music video.
Oh, you do music videos? You working?
Yeah. So I did my first video with an amazing artist. Her name is Taya L. Just amazing. She's from overseas.
Okay.
But she loves music. She can sing.
Okay.
So did her first ever video. It's called Love You. So go on YouTube, put in Taya L, TAYAELLE, and then Don't Love You, and you'll see it. Produced by Smoooth Productions, my first one. And it was just an amazing thing.
Congratulations.
And I'm like, oh, look at me doing it. Because it's stuff that I've always wanted to do, but just never had the opportunity or the gifts to actually do that. But now that, I'm with my district family, shouts out to Kalanda K, Joe Capo, her husband. He's the one who produced actually the song for Smooth Conversations intro that you heard earlier. Yeah. And he produced her Taya L song. Okay. So they were like, hey, we know that you want to get into this. You want to go ahead and make this happen. I said, hey, I ain't going to say no. Because once again, I prayed for it. Yeah. So if I'm praying for something, like I pray for my wife, and I got it, why should I? No, that's right. Why should I not go ahead and do it and give it, the best I can? So, yeah. So I love it. So Smooth Moments. So once again, scan the QR code, top right. Let's collab. You know what I'm saying? Alana, we collabing. Ashley, we collabing. Yes. Let's make it happen. But just from that, you mentioned education. So you were a teacher.
I was a college advisor. So when I was finishing up my degree at Mizzou, so I'm a comms major. So I've always been interested, again, in writing. And I thought I was going to go into PR. But I also had a passion for service work at the same time, because I was a teen mom. So I worked for a teen mom organization while I was at Mizzou. Two different ones, Lutheran Family Services, but also an organization called Cub Hub. And they had students from the College of Education to come and get credit hours by watching children of students. So from undergrad to PhD students. And that's where I would go to get my homework done. From 4 to 8, Monday through Thursday. So shout out to them, because they, again, helps me graduate. So I just always had a passion for service work and artistry. I just didn't know how to merge the two. I wanted to stay in Mizzou for grad school. I went to go take my GRE. When I went in there, my driver's license was expired and I couldn't take the exam. And the deadline for that program was passing. I wasn't going to be able to take the GRE. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to move back to St. Louis, because I don't have a reason to stay here. My advisor had approached me with an opportunity with AmeriCorps. So it's called the Missouri College Advising Corps, and they placed recent grads into schools of their selections around the state. So we had a corps in Kansas City, we had a corps in St. Louis, and then we had a corps in the Boot Heel of Missouri. And I applied and I got placed at Soudan High School. Wow. So I worked there for 2 years, and that was my first job out of college. I was 23 and making $24,000 a year. Man.
And even teachers to this day are still saying that they don't get nowhere near what they deserve.
Man, $24,000 a year once a month with a baby. Child, we have a group chat together, the people that were in my cohort, and we just laugh all the time. I was like, how do we even, I know how, but I'm like, y'all, how do we make this happen? Like, how do we do this? But I started as a college advisor for 2 years. And then this was in 2013, 2014. So of course, what happened in 2014 was the Ferguson, uprising and the murder of Mike Brown. But that job was only for 2 years. So I would have to leave anyway. So at that time, I decided to go back to school I applied to get into the Brown School of Social Work at WashU, and I got in. So then I went there for grad school.
Nice. And so I'm sure that you have a nice bond with current teachers to this day. Is that correct?
For sure.
So like, what has been like your overall takeaway from teaching, maybe here or just anywhere else, about just how they feel it is? Because so many schools are losing accreditation. You know, public schools are just getting less and less here.
Yeah.
You know, and a narrative that people have been saying too is that children are getting so much better education if they go to the counties and whatever else. You know, they're more exposed to more things than getting in the city. So just talk about that.
The same way we tell service members, thank you for your service, I think we should tell teachers the same thing. It is a thankless job. It's one of those jobs where you truly don't know the effects and your impact till years down the line. Same with rearing your children. You think you're doing a good job and you praying you're doing a good job, and then it may come back tenfold when they're 21 and they come back and say thank you. But while you're doing the work, you don't really know you're just doing your job. But you're expected to do so much more. When I see comments from people that are like, you know, teachers need to come to school armed. So you want me to teach your kid.
Right.
You want me to protect your kids should something happen, but you don't want me to get paid more. Like, you don't want me to have, I'm working on the weekends. I'm working on, like, thank you for your service, which is why I was a college advisor and not a teacher, because it's a ministry. And when I meet people who have done it for 20, 30 years, my God, I was a teacher for 5 days. 5 days. I tried it. When I moved to Dallas,
it was the longest 5 days of your life.
Let me. I was like, I just want to try. Like, I did auxiliary roles, but let me just see, because I love working with youth. I really do. Worked at a school for 5 days in the midst of COVID, and I'm pretty sure that was a factor. And honestly, it wasn't even the kids. It was like, I'm not getting administrative support. I just feel like I'm just thrown in here. But I also don't blame them either, because of everything else that's going on. And I was like, before I get invested, before these kids get invested, let me just, but I did. I tried. I tried. It's not for everybody. I do think there are some people who do not belong in the classroom. But it is a thankless job, and they deserve so much more. They deserve summers off.
And especially with you having a 16-year-old and seeing so much on social media or in the news about how rebellious these kids are nowadays. That's been also like a huge concern.
Yeah.
Is that we're seeing so many young kids out here with guns.
Yeah.
Out here stealing cars, out here acting grown.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I remember seeing a young man who went to prison or whatever, and he had to go in front of the court, and he was told that he'll be in jail for life or whatever. He just started crying. You know, it's like these kids just,
they don't know.
It just, like you said, they don't know, or they just have this evil spirit in them, you know. So how disheartening is it for you as a person in education and as a mother of a 16-year-old? How disheartening is it for you just to see how the youth is nowadays with the generation? It's
scary because, again, you know, as I'm not a scientist, but I read a little bit. And so just knowing like there's certain parts of your brain that does not develop fully until you're 25, 26 years old. And so you have these 13, 14, 15-year-olds that are making permanent decisions off of temporary emotions. That's the conversation that I have with my daughter all the time. I was like, I know how you feel. Everything feels so intense. Like, you feel like the stuff that you're experiencing right now, that this is it. I was like, I promise you, as the old folks, they just keep on living. Just live a little bit longer. The stuff that feels so dire right now, it is not going to mean, not to say it's not going to mean anything, but the weight that it carries right now, it's not going to carry that in the future. So the permanent decisions off of temporary emotions, like the emotional dysregulation, the anti-education, the anti-medicine, the anti-science, everything is so anti to what we know. And so you're sending your kids to school, but then you're saying stuff like, well, they're not your parents, so you don't have to listen to them. Well, why are you bringing them here? Like, homeschool your kid if you're not going to have that consistency of when you were in their care, you listen to what they have to tell you, because they're keeping you safe for 8 hours a day. Mine know better. because she know we show up at the school. Granted, I don't know how she engages, you know, when we're not around, but as far as like what we instill in her, we have those conversations frequently. My daughter is active in basketball, but I make sure that the school, you're not just going to see me at basketball games. You're going to see me at PTA meetings.
Right.
I'm going to check in with you via email. I'm going to check in about her grades. Like, I'm that parent. So you're going to know me in all facets of my daughter's life, not just the thing that's the most fun, which is sports. But it does for my youngest, my 3-year-old, I'm considering homeschool just because I don't know. And I'm in Texas. I don't know what the state of education is going to be by the time that she hits, you know, middle school and high school, because.
And I think that's like every parent's fear. It's like my boy, he's same age as me. He just had twins. 2 girls.
Papa.
So it's like my best friend. So I'm like, man.
It's a scary time. It is.
Yes. Because it's the big unknown.
Yeah.
And especially Black people, we know how we act when we don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So man, definitely prayers up. And it has been easy for us to say, well, if these parents, speak easy to say, because of the parents, you know, ain't there or whatever it is. But you brought up something earlier that helped you when you had your child at 18, the village. How important is it to have a village? Remember back in the old days when if you were outside with your friends, another neighbor may see something and would say, now, you know, your mom and dad ain't gonna like that. So don't be, you know what I'm saying? Or they'll go ahead and tell, because it was a community. Yeah. It was a village. And I miss those days. So if you ask me, I say I miss those days of being able to go outside all day. Yeah. And especially like my mom or my grandparents, they didn't have a worry. Yeah. Because they knew where I was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, your daughter says, hey, I'm gonna go out all day. Yeah. You worried to death. Yeah. I know I need to know. And she asked, we had those conversations when she asked about places to go. And I'm like, so where you? Ooh. Because she's at driving age now and her peers are driving. So, and you know anything about Texas drivers, they can't drive. My wife, she does not want to drive in Houston. Like she loves Houston. It's bad. But she does not want to drive. It's bad. But no, we ask questions like, where's it gonna be at? No, you can't just go to, you get a flyer about a party on Friday and you ask, like, who gonna be there? Like what's going on? I'm asking those questions. I do let her have her life, but I still want to know. But that village is imperative. I think nowadays people get very defensive if you say something to them about their kid. But you want, if something were to happen and your child goes missing, you want communal support. Yes. If somebody passes away, you want communal support to help you bury your child. So it's like the picking and choosing on the influence that you want to have in your child's life. My daughter's coach, she do something at school, she's in your care, you run her. If she's suspended for 2 games, that's your job. Like, we honor other people who were in that role when it comes to our kids. So we vouch for the communal support, but I think we are missing that because people get very defensive of like, not my baby. And then continue on, you as a parent, how important is it to never forget that you are the parent and not the best friend, not the homie? It's something with the older that my daughter has gotten, because she's at the age now where I met her dad. So I'm in a lot of therapy because the inner teen Alana is like triggered from raising a 16-year-old. But I'm very honest and I'm very candid about that. So I think me and my baby have a very good relationship because we grew up together. And I'm also grateful for my husband because he also provides that balance. So it's not just her and I. He has that other viewpoint of things to consider, because I'll fold. There are certain things that I will fold because I'm like, that's my baby. Yeah. He's like, she got 2 years and she got this house and she's gonna have to know how to do these things. You can't keep coming in the mix every time. So like, he helps bring my feet back to reality of like, because I do want to keep her close to me for as long as I can, because I know she's about to be 18 very, very soon. And there's so much going on in this world. Yeah. Like, she just got her first job.
I was worried about that, but she's doing really, really well. So it's also one of those things where I don't give my daughter enough credit. I don't give myself enough credit for how I've raised her. So it's hard. It's not even the best friend thing. It's just the overprotectiveness that I'm needing to start to lift, because again, I don't want her to walk out the door and be like, okay, my mama didn't let me do this, or I couldn't try this or experiment with this. So now I'm out here and I'm wilding because I didn't have the freedom to try it under their care.
So you brought up therapy.
Yeah. Everybody go therapy. Everybody go therapy. At least listen. Therapists need therapists. However you have therapy, but it's worked wonders for me in my growth and my development, for sure.
So what was the reason for you going to therapy? Because usually it's something that may have triggered in your life, or so that you know what, I need to go here and just sit down and talk.
I tried it on and off for like the past 10 years. And I think when I had first began, it was when I was getting ready to get married. Because I never wanted to be married.
Why?
I never wanted to be married. I was with me and my daughter. So like my parents, I come from people who are married. So my parents are married, my grandparents were married. But from my viewpoint, it always looked at like obligation to each other. Like I hadn't really witnessed like pure love from two adults. And that can be, and it's not necessarily a fault, like jobs and kids, like just the hardships of life that wears and tears, that can wear and tear on a marriage, right? But with my daughter, I became a mom before I was a woman. So I'm an alpha female. That's how my daddy raised me. It's very interesting, like, but dads are so overprotective over their daughters, and they're like, they raise you to not need a man for nothing. But then a man comes in and you're having to like, I had to unlearn a lot because that's how my dad raised me. And that's how I raised my daughter. It's me and my daughter. I have my own apartment. I got my degrees. I did this without a man, right? And so I'm like, I'll date, but I don't need you. I had to unlearn. I'm having to unlearn a lot of that because one, I don't want to put that on my daughter.
Right.
That's not energy I want her to carry. But also like there's certain aspects of me that I want to be soft. I learned that I can be. I learned that I can be taken care of. I learned that I can lead and be the face of stuff, but I also still have a very supportive partner. I had to learn that through the marriage piece. It was very, very uncomfortable. So
pretty much when that song came out back in the day, INDEP, that was you.
Listen. And it's like when it's working, I'm getting the degree, like it's working. And not to say that it's the healthiest, but it was tangible evidence to show that my efforts solo with the village, it's working. So I don't need you because what I'm doing is working for myself. I'm exhausted. I'm tired, but it's working. So having to unlearn a lot of those habits to bring somebody else into the fold who I have to trust is not going to take away from that, but to ease that load. So that was the original source for therapy. But then you just kind of start unpacking stuff. And like the older that your kids get, you're starting to look at how you respond to them when it comes to disciplining.
Right.
The things that trigger you that you didn't know was there because you hadn't experienced that before. So it's like, and I'm an internalizer. I don't like conflict. I hate conflict. So I'm learning like, but why do I hate conflict so much? Why is there such a barrier to me addressing conflict? So having to learn how to articulate my feelings in the moment because I'm learning, my oldest is doing the same thing. So she is like the catalyst to help me address stuff in myself so she can address it now so she's not 35 trying to answer questions from when she was 15 years old.
So my wife, shout out to you, wifey, leaves a comment. Facts. No one talks about the unlearning of independence and how to balance it.
Yeah. It'd be stuff like I have a way of organizing my dishes when I unload the dishwasher and you put the bowl in the wrong. And I'm just like, see,
OCD kick in.
See, this is why I ain't want to be married. And it can be like, it sounds funny, but it's like you just have a way of doing and like you stuck in your ways because it's working and it's comfortable. So having to bring somebody, it could be a life partner, it could be a friend, just anybody that you're investing time in, you're going to have to learn them as well. And there's some stuff that I just had to concede to.
It'd be times the wife and I be having date nights and I'll have to tell her, do not touch that door.
Oh yeah. he be doing it. He be doing
Do
that.
not, you know, sometimes, okay, we go shopping. Sometimes, you know, because for her, it's just so natural for her to always open up her own door.
Yeah.
So to the men in her past that did not be a man for her, thank you. Because I love to go ahead and, you stay right there. Let me come around, get your door. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes she'd be like, yeah, do I? No.
Yeah.
I want you to know that you met me this way.
Yeah.
It's not gonna change.
Yeah. I'm quick to hit it. I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. I got it.
Oh, look at her. She says, y'all in my unmarried business. Let me call my third.
Yes, friend, we gonna be all right, friend. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. But it's a lot. Like, they want an independent woman, and then it's the nuanced things that, like, okay, but when we first started dating, my husband be like, I can do this. And I'm just like, okay. So I try to sabotage our relationship at least the first year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because she was trying to find ways.
Yeah.
Like when she knew that she was happy and she was like in a whole different level.
Yeah.
She was trying to find ways to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like the whole too good to be true.
Yes.
I don't want this to backfire.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. It was like, let me just put a bow on this now before I get too invested, because I'm gonna mess this up in some capacity. So I just rather not. He ain't go away.
Yeah. Sorry, but all that
ain't go away.
All that shoe. No, it ain't happening here because I'm here to stay. And especially, like I said before, something that I pray for.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put myself in a position to lose you because I'm being stupid.
Yeah, that's real.
That, you know what I'm saying? That ain't happening. Let me see. Ashley says, I'm a top tier saboteur.
It's so easy to do. Like it's. I mean, we've been together 12 years, married for 8 at this point. But that first year, it was just like, I'm scared that I'm going to do something to ruin it, and it's like before I prove myself right, let me just not. But he was very consistent. And 12 years later, just very, very consistent. And a good friend. Like, he is a very good friend, not just to me.
Yeah. That
was one of the things that I admired about him, and just seeing how he handled his friendships, men and women, in his life. Like, he's a solid dude. He's a good dude. So then it became like, Alana, you be stupid.
Yeah.
You be stupid to like let this fold off of preconceived notions that haven't even manifested itself. Just fear of what could be, that just never, 12 years later, still has not happened.
So talk about this, because there are men, and I've heard women who make money, who are bosses, say that it's hard for them to get a man because they are intimidated because of successful women. Talk about that.
Me, myself, personally.
And I would say, probably for your case, it probably wasn't the case.
Yeah, it wasn't. Because he knew who I was and what I did before. Like, the stuff that I'm doing now is newer, but again, we went to college together. So he saw me in my mommy mode. That's the version of Alana that he saw. Going to class and doing all the things, going to events with my daughter in tow. So the leadership quality, he had a first hand seat in before we even started dating. So everything was pure, because there were no, at least not on my end, there were no intentions of dating. Like, he had a little thing for me back in college, but it was, I was a, he had a little thing in college, but it was just like, that's my classmate.
Yeah.
But we evolved, so we graduated, we evolved to friends, and just, he's in the creative realm, I'm in the creative realm. So he would be somebody that I would go to for counsel in the stuff that I'm working on. But Devin is very much how can I help you? How can I help, like, with the gifts that I have, how can I, elevate the work that you're doing?
How can we enhance it?
Yes, because it's like, he likes to play the background role. I am the face of the stuff that I do. My brand, I am Alana Marie. He bought the domain for that. When we were dating 12, that was a birthday gift, my 25th birthday. He bought IamAlanaMarie.com. So he saw the vision. He continues to see the vision. So when I worked at Essence Fest in 2024, I had brought him with me to shoot, some content. And I had, who was I interviewing? I forgot some celebrity I was interviewing. And I was like, how did I do? And he was like, you finna be on the road and you finna leave me at home with these kids. I was like, I did good. He was like, you finna be on the road and you finna leave me at home with these kids. I'm like, is that Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
And so, and then BET ended up happening later in the last year. I was always on the road.
That's what I want to get to next.
Yeah.
That's what I want to get to next, because that was something else that, I saw you, you was talking and everything when you had the panel discussion for her imminent raid, she believed 2 years ago. But when you said BET, I was like,
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's dope. And I'm like, that was when I wanted to reach out to you after the event and say, hey, I want to get you on because I wanted to learn that story about how everything happened connected with BET.
God. Shout out to Corey Jarvis. He is now the VP of social media and special projects at Essence. But I knew him from college. He's from KC. He went to UCM. So I met him from a mutual friend. So I've known him for about 15 years now. But he brought me on as a social producer for Essence in 2024. I was fasting at the time. We had experienced like chronic layoffs and contracts that I would have, they would term, and I was just in a season of like, I don't know what's going on. So I remember being in the midst of a fast when he had reached out and was like, what you doing from July 2nd to July 4th? I'm like, what you need me to do? Right. He was like, I would like to bring you on in this role. Like, I know what you're capable of. I know what you're doing. Like, I think you can do this. So he brought me on as a social producer for Essence. And I did that for a short amount of time, that contract term. And then he had reached back out to me and was like, you still looking for work? I'm like, always. And so he connected me with the VP of social at BET, and we had a conversation. I submitted my stuff, and about a few weeks later, she had reached back out and was like, I would like to bring you on as a senior manager of social for these verticals. Relationships, doing good work, and integrity, for real. It went by so fast. Like, I did a lot in a very short amount of time. I was able to bring along Ashley. She was a graphic designer over at BET. So we got to work together, and it was a very fun and intense, but fun. I had my very first BET awards. I wanted to see.
I was going to ask you about that too next.
Okay, my bad. Like, you flowing. I was like, let me see what he's going to ask.
I love it.
Yeah. I was like, I was contracted, but I was like, I would love to get a BET Awards out the way. Like, I want to see how this is run. And so being able to experience that and connect with other creatives, like the thing about working in media, like connecting with celebrities and stuff is cool, but like the people behind the scenes, that's what I'm attracted to the most. Because how do y'all put this stuff together? So I know from what I see on the TV, it's 2-3 hours, right? But there's so many hands and there's so many things at play to make a successful event. So I remember going into the auditorium and I was like, this is actually kind of small. It looked bigger on TV than what it is. You know,
talking about the actual room that they had the award show.
Yeah, okay. To me, it was small.
Yeah.
Or like the BET Experience. Those are all of the events that lead up to the award show. I didn't even know there was a thing. I never paid attention. So I made a lot of connections that weekend. I got to go to the site where they went up in space, where Gayle King went in space. I got to meet Oprah. Didn't even realize she was there, and I'm looking and she's sitting right in front of me, and I'm the only Black media outlet in the room, and Jeff Bezos is behind me, and Khloe Kardashian and Chris in the other room, and it's just like on a random day throughout the week.
That's amazing.
Random. And then go home, and then the kids asking me what's for dinner, and Addie got a field trip that I need to fill out for, and it's just like, that's the part that keeps me balanced, that I need.
Yeah, because I saw something. I think you was a project of like all the what's the word? Social media personalities that were like all like in a house or something.
Culture class, BET culture class. So that was one of my main projects that I was able to work on and help take lead of. But yeah, it was like, I think it ended up being like 8 creatives. Rakia Jackson was one of them. That was my connection to, or my vote to bring her on. But it was a lot, like from curating the content to producing the content to working alongside the people that are editing for output, delivery, on top of the actual BET Awards. That was an auxiliary part of the BET Awards. So that was a really dope experience.
Then you mentioned, Oprah here, Kardashian here, Bezos here, whatever. Is there someone, especially now that you're doing what you're doing, is there someone that you would love to be able to just be in the same room with and have that conversation with?
Issa.
I can see that.
Issa. Issa Rae, for sure. She's, of course, like on my Mount Rushmore of starting with what you have, building with the people that are in, your same lane, and building together. I would love to talk to her. Of course, Ava DuVernay. Ironically, I saw Ava DuVernay during Essence Fest in passing, but I was like, this ain't the time to like pull her to the side. But I did get to see her in the flesh. Regina King. Because the other women that I mentioned, although I admire their work, they don't have children. Regina King at the time, just not even just being an actress, but being a director, and behind the scenes, she had her son. So
and
I was
son
had passed away.
Yeah.
But as he was when he was younger, I would love to just talk to her about that balance of being in this industry and how she managed to do it with her son. She's goated. And I think there's a lot of people that don't know the amount of work that she's done, the amount of credits that she has, because we know her to be an actress. But her and her sister have been doing this work for years, and I would love to talk to her.
We did bring this up earlier, and I want to make sure I don't forget AI and how much it is affecting.
Yeah.
Great, and ask you, Nicole, let me know as well. Because with your field being a graphic designer, talk about how that has affected you as well. Let me know in the comments. She also did say earlier, although you saw it, but she said that our names were in the...
Our names for the BET Awards, yes, our names was in the credits. Yeah. Yes, we got a screenshot.
Dope. But yeah, going back, your thoughts on AI.
I think there is a time and a place. I use it to a certain capacity. I say AI is useful to help simplify and streamline your work process, but the human, is still working, but I'm using a tool to help streamline the process. It becomes an issue when you try to use it to take over the work that a human should be doing, or when you're intentionally using it to distort the reality of what you're seeing. I laugh all the time at my mom, and I'm just like, baby boomers be falling for it all the time. It'd be like the posts on Facebook of like, say congratulations to these triplets that just turned 103. And I'm like, y'all, look at the fingers. It's like, it's not real. But it's stuff like that where it seems harmless. And I'm like, okay, these are the beginning stages of people falling for stuff that's not real. So the fact that we're constantly having conversations about, okay, is what I saw real? Is this fake? Like, that's going to be happening a lot more. And that's really, really dangerous. So not only are you distorting my reality, you're taking people's jobs. But then you're saying, okay, it's not AI that's taking people's jobs. You're going to learn how to use it. But for what? What am I using this for? What harm am I bringing forth to people by learning this specific tool? So I think that's an issue for sure.
And as she says, it's useful when the intentions are good and ethical.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree, because they just said before using it for a certain capacity, yes. But as we discussed before the show, when we're seeing posts of an award show with Michael Jackson and Tupac and Elvis and
Prince, and it's gross. I'm like, somebody sat down and thought to, and there were people in there. It was like, this is so beautiful. Like, this is something that they, would have. No, it's not. You ain't finna have my granny sitting in no award show and she didn't like, no, like, you're talking about breaching of consent. It's if you that talented, it's some other stuff.
And that's what
that
I
you
always
can do.
be saying.
Some other stuff that you can do.
You got all these people doing the scamming stuff or whatever it is, but why don't y'all use y'all knowledge to like find out about lowering debt? You know what I'm saying? Financial aid.
Happy student loans.
You know what I'm saying?
Do something for the greater good of the people.
You use them skills for something better.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to ruin someone's life.
Yeah. And I feel like it's because how dire circumstances are with so many people losing their jobs, wage gap, prices going up, you're going to start operating out of survival. When you start operating out of survival, you don't care who gets hurt in the way. Anything goes, because you're worried about you and yours. And I get it, but like, you mad at the wrong people. Like, we all in this bucket together trying to survive, but you're like, I'm worried about me and mine. And I think it feels, and it seems extreme, but I'm like, no, it's happening now.
And I'm not going to get too political, but this just came to my mind. But I just feel like that person in the office is trying to do a whole purge.
That's why I stopped watching The Purge. I got up to like the third one and I was like, okay, like this is the prelude to what I feel like they would really do. And as a filmmaker, and I'm like, I start to question, like, what's, as a writer, as a producer, like when y'all making this, like, where do y'all minds go? Like the fact that y'all minds can go this far and wide, it's a little too creative for me. But I would not. We on the same page.
Yeah,
we on the same page. We know racism, yes, but classism is right up there. And if you're not in the right class, yeah, it's fair game.
Because I mean, what kind of? I mean, I always say the people, not me. The people voted for him.
That's what they say.
You know, and then when you see a message that he had on Easter about destroying a whole country and using F-bombs in a post on Easter, on Resurrection Day.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not surprised. You know, I can't believe he said.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Come on now.
I try to keep an even keel of like, if it look like a duck and it quack like a duck, it ain't no dog.
Man.
It ain't no dog.
Yeah. So once again, like I said, I'm not gonna go on no long. Nope, we ain't doing it here.
Yeah.
But once again, this is Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. Hope y'all have been enjoying these conversations that we having. It's been amazing so far. Your boy Smooth, the 3 O's we have.
Alana Marie. In
the TSC. So once again, I appreciate your time. I do have some more things I want to show you. You know, as you've seen, you know, I've been putting up some photos, some memories. I'm big on nostalgia, so I have a few things I want to show just to kind of get your opinion on where you were at this time and your thoughts. So let's start off with this one right here.
You trying to make me cry? That's my granny.
Oh.
The man that's blurry in the background, that's my dad. But this was at her 70th birthday party. She passed in 2014. That's my girl. That was my girl. Was I 21? Oh, I was so young. But this was at her main church in Ferguson for her 70th birthday party. And I miss her. And even working on Kinlock, because it was that my dad's side of the family that all lived in Kinlock. It's like I have so many questions about just adulthood, womanhood, marriage that I wish I could ask her. But that's my girl. That's Pauline.
And check out the hairstyle you was rocking.
Look a mess, child. Look at a mess. Ooh.
The looks, the looks that we've gone through over the years.
I was a baby. Wow.
The glow up. The glow up is
truly a mess.
Let's talk about this moment right here.
September 29th, 2018. That's when I married my best friend. This was at a park in Creve Coeur.
I'm about to look like Creve Coeur.
Because I wanted to take pictures at like the cobblestone area in like St. Charles, but the limo driver was like, there's nowhere we can drive like with the limo, so we'll have to find somewhere else. So my photographer was like, well, this is close. And it was getting towards sunset. So it was a very impromptu day. And I remember this day because there were 2 women walking through the park who saw us taking pictures, and they stopped and they came and was like, can we pray with you?
Really?
So they came, and me and my photographer, videographer, and my husband got in a circle and they prayed for us in the park. Yes, man. What's interesting? My husband designed our seating chart for the wedding, and I have it framed because there are so many people who have since passed on, at least 10 at this point. So the pastor who was supposed to marry us died a month before from cancer.
Wow.
And the pastor whose church this was at died 6 months later from cancer. Yeah. So I had a stint where I paused on going to church because it was just a very tender moment for me. But we had a ball. It was an all black affair. Like all my guests wore black. We kicked it like at the reception at 9:00. I had the bar have like red Solo cups because I wanted to feel like a college party. I guess this was like 250 people. But I had a ball. But I say that's the first memory that comes up is the seating chart because so many people who are not here anymore and just how quickly time just passes and how quickly things can change from such a joyous occasion. But this was a really good day.
I love that look that you have right there.
Yeah.
That just like he's
gums
mine.
and everything.
Yeah, he's mine.
Yeah.
I'm his queen, the whole nine.
Yeah.
So I love that. And you said the seating chart, but for our reception, I was in charge. Well, I made myself in charge of the flow because me being DJ.
Yeah.
I've done millions of weddings.
Fair.
So I know how it is. So she was like, yeah, go ahead and handle all
That's
that.
Your thing.
I made sure from this time to this time,
yeah,
we doing this. From this time to that time, we're gonna have that played. From this time, we'll have people talk, whatever it was. There was just something that she didn't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Just us being there and being present. And we always say, we love the reception. It was amazing because we got married on 9/11, but we didn't have the reception until May of the next year because we got married in Vegas.
Okay.
So it was small, intimate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just us and like 5 other people at the most. But we know there were so many people who wanted to celebrate us. A lot of, like you said, a lot of people were like, what? Jamie got a man?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what? She married? You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was. But we just wanted to make sure that people were able to celebrate.
Yeah.
So we had the reception. It was amazing. But 2 things. We didn't take like a big like group photo because you know how you be in a reception, it go by so fast because
very fast.
You go here, then you out here talking to people. You out here, so like we barely danced. Like how after all the things go on, and you just want to dance for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
We didn't really do that because we just going around. But then the second thing, we had this big red velvet cake. And by the time I thought about it,
it was gone. Yeah. They're supposed to cut a slice for you and put it to the side.
So I mean, we had that.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Okay.
I wanted more.
Yeah. Put something in a box.
I wanted
put it
more.
in the box to the side.
I wanted more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Your girl says, now I'm crying and won't get anything else done today. The Woodsons.
I love you, Ashley. That's me and my husband. That's the homie. That's a homie. I love her. She's a solid friend.
So you said that y'all were high school sweethearts or college?
So
met in college.
We met in college. We didn't date until after. What was our song? We were dancing to All I Do by Stevie Wonder. That was our married song.
So who made the first move?
He did. He was very was funny when we were in college because he's a year older than me, so he graduated a year above me. But I feel like in 2011 we were sitting and eating lunch in the student center, and he was like, "I'm gonna give you about 2 years. I'm gonna give you 2 years. Then I'm gonna come out." I'm like, "Okay." So I would call him Devin. He's an Omega, and I'd be like, "Devin, okay, Devin the Omega, like whatever." Like I'm not, because at the time I'm still like going back and forth with my daughter's dad, and he had several girlfriends throughout college. Mind you, I went to school with him, so I know everything. But I'm like, whatever. But he was always a really good person. He's a really good friend. He comes from good stock. And we didn't date until 2014. So technically he made the first move. But as far as like the establishment of our relationship, his birthday is April 6th. So he just passed this Monday. So it's April 6th of 2014. I had told him happy birthday. I had posted happy birthday on Twitter. What's funny, his ex-girlfriend and my ex at the time liked the picture.
Oh,
it's funny. I'm like, it was a harmless like happy birthday, whatever.
Yeah.
But we started talking every day like after that. And in I think like May 23rd, I had texted him. I was like, you know what? I like you. And then because we're texting back and forth, and then it just got quiet. I was just like, did he just leave me on red? But then he responded, and then we started dating from there. And he was living in Dallas at the time, so it was a long distance relationship, and he would travel up by car to come see me. And he ended up getting a job. He found a job up here in St. Louis, and he moved up here, and we made it official from there. So it's been since 2014.
So, of course, women, they have, like we discussed earlier, about you stuck in your ways, right? I'm not gonna go this, whatever. Was there like a certain moment that made you say, dang it, the wall is down?
Yeah.
You got me.
Ooh, a certain moment. I don't know if it was a certain moment. There were several moments where it was just like he is who he says he is. In the earlier stages of our relationship, he came up for a friend's wedding, and him and a friend were driving back. We're going to drive back to Dallas that morning, and he left like 4 hours before. So he was midway to Dallas. I got in a car accident. Me and another friend of ours who went to school with my daughter was in the car, actually on Graham Road, coming up the hill. What's that, St. Ferdinand by White Castle? I'm coming up Graham, and a person was speeding up St. Ferdinand and T-bone us in the car, flipped our car around. So I got in a car accident, and my daughter's, got off her car seat. So we went to the hospital or whatever, and my friend, the passenger, had called him to let him know what happened, and he turned around. They had to be at least 3 hours away from Dallas. He turned around to come check on me. And that surprised my dad, because he's like, I know you were just here, but like, and you got your friend with you, who I know he wanted to get back home, but we all went to school together. So he's like, no, we got to go check on Alana. And he stayed, and I slept in my bed. He slept on the floor next to me that entire night to make sure I was okay, and my daughter was okay. So that was like one of the key memories that I have with him, but just how he was with my daughter. He's been in my daughter's life since she was 4.
What's up?
And the reason she's so good at basketball now is because of the time and effort that he put in with her. So it's like, if something were to ever happen to me, my girls are good. My girls are good.
Yeah.
Right? I got a solid man in that corner.
So it came from INDE to all of a sudden, let me cater to you.
But I'm still very much so. Don't worry about it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I'm doing better. Well, you can ask him. To me, I'm doing a lot better. Yeah,
because like with my wife, she's gonna be like, why you gotta say all this? But like cooking, I'd be like, she be doing her thing. But like, let me know if you need any help. And like she be like, she just be in the zone.
Yeah.
And be like, I got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I be like, hey, I'm here. I can chop this. I can whatever I got. You know what? We can make it happen. Be a team. But she had her certain things that is like, no.
And sometimes too, I don't know if it is for your wife, but like let me know what I can do. In our minds, it creates extra work. Because it's work to have to tell you what it is to do. Now, if you would have came in and be like, give me the bell peppers, give me the onion, get out the kitchen. She'll probably get out the kitchen. So it's like coming in with like I'm going to just cut it and I'm going to leave it. I ain't even going to say nothing. Shut up. I'm going to cut it and go. I'm like, oh, okay. But like, let me know if you need anything. But like, see, dog, because it feels like it's more work to have to do it.
Let me say, shut up. I got this.
Just start cutting in the kitchen, cutting it up, but cut it how she want it. Don't leave no big old chunks of peppers to put in the sauce. Pay attention to how she do it. Cut it, and then it was like, okay, you can come back in now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Here we go. Y'all hear it. Y'all hear it. Y'all see it. You know what I'm saying? I love it though. But just talk about, because I mentioned it earlier, for me, just being with someone that you've been praying for, because we always have, when we're younger, God just bless me with this, bless me with a husband, the whole nine. And I always say this too, that it's very important that when you do pray, that you are direct. Because you could easily say, oh God, give me a sexy black man with abs, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he comes. but because you only pray for just that aspect.
That man got 9 different personalities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he can be abusive,
Yes.
or he can be the worst thing and whatever to make you hate other men.
Yes.
Because you only pray for a certain aspect. You didn't pray for someone that's gonna make you better. That's gonna, that you want to be able to spend your life with and be happy. So it's very important that we are intentional and being direct with what we want and in our prayers. So just talk about being able to know that you have someone that you pray for.
I actually made a list of what I wanted in a man. I don't remember everything I put on there, but I feel like the one was like 6'4" and up. Me and my husband the same height, not no 6'4". And one key one was like, knows how to manage anger, knows how to manage his anger. It was very imperative to me, in discerning between like nice to haves and non-negotiables. That is a non-negotiable to me. Relationship with his mom or relationship with women in his family was also very important to me, how you treated the women in your life. Of course, the height part, it bothered me in the beginning because of what I'm used to, but then it's like, you also come into like, you gonna let this be the factor that you miss out on all of this of a person. Like, I know he's praying for me just as fervently. Like, my husband is more in the church than I ever was. That's what he grew up in. I didn't get saved till I was 21. So a man of God, like, who knows the Bible, whose parents know the Bible, like his dad is a deacon, his mom was a part of the deaconess, like good stock foundation. Again, like I said, if something were to happen to me, my kids are fine. And so having to think like longevity wise, early on in our marriage, like I had a lot of health issues. I ended up getting diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. I ended up getting diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease when we moved to Dallas. So somebody who's like by my side in the midst of stuff that I cannot control, like that. And we're so young, like we got diagnosed with infertility within the first 5 years of our marriage. And so the whole, for better, for worse, like you say your vows, but then it's different when you're forced to have to actually live it out when you don't know what that's going to look like. And to be so young when all of this stuff is happening. So I couldn't imagine going through those things by myself, and without somebody who's just as solid and cares about my well-being. So I say all that to say, like, if you are in a season of just trying to figure out who is for you, like, those are the intangibles, especially in this day and age, because it's so much that you just don't know. I would have never figured that a year after us saying I do when we're trying to expand our family. And then because the question is naturally like, when are y'all going to have kids? And you're trying, and because you already had one, you're thinking it's going to be easy, and it's not. And so having to go through the infertility road and trying to find support for him from other men and myself from other women, and making sure that that doesn't pull away from our tactness from our own marriage. And so we don't blame each other because this is something that we did to each other. It forces you to a level of intimacy that's the level of intimacy that people don't talk about because it's so uncomfortable, because it's so raw. And you can't control it. I have control issues. I don't know if you know, but I have control issues. So, but somebody that can manage that and be a good friend. Again, the essence of Omega, that's the friendship is their thing. And so at the end of the day, when he is pissing me off to the highest pissivity, and I'm sure I'm doing the same for him, it's like, okay, I know his heart though. Right. I know he's not doing this to be malicious. I know he's not finding fulfillment out of seeing me upset. And so it's like that part that's consistent, that when the dust settles, I do remember that.
So the wifey, in regards to the whole in the kitchen and just saying shut up and in the whatever, she says, you preach.
Thanks, Jamie.
Say you preaching. But no, I love it. I love it. And just talk about just having, that safe space, with him.
We just took those pictures because we rarely ever take pictures. Like I tell him all the time, I'm like, if people were to go through our text message, it'd be looking like you be ignoring me, or because he'll call me. Like I'll text and he'll call me. So it's like, it's just my bubbles.
Right.
Or if I don't post him on my social, And I was like, I wonder how many people think like we're not together and we're in the same room. Like,
and it goes back to social media.
Yeah.
Like you said
She's
before.
like, oh, I ain't seen Devin in a while. And he's literally sitting on the other couch.
Yeah.
And we watching a show on Netflix. But that's bad. These are our most recent pictures. We took family pictures because we rarely ever take pictures together. But yeah. Shout out to Dev.
And I know you brought this up earlier, Alyssa alluding to it, but just talk about the sacrifices that he's had to make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For you, like you said, how he was joking about, oh, well, it'll be this many kids here while you doing this, and talk about how much of a sacrifice that he's made and how much that's meant for you to continue to do what you do.
Devin is the nurturer of the house. So I hold down the house in the sense of like stereotypical wife, like my foresight. I'm saying, so if I know I'm traveling, I'm trying to get stuff done before I even leave, making sure like the house is clean, making sure I went grocery shopping so they have what they need before, you know, they leave, or before I leave. So he pick up, drop off for the kids. Like as we speak right now, and I'm calling him on the phone, like we're getting our fence redone. We got the cleaners at the house. We got, you know, Addie got it picked up by 3:05. Like he has a system at this point that the girls fall into. He puts, because I work also from 3 to midnight, Monday through Friday, he puts our baby girl down to sleep every night. So like he is the nurturer of the house. And I love that because the girls get to see that side from it. And his dad is the same way. My girls get to see that side. And it allows me to be soft in some areas as well. But like, what I enjoy what I do too, but it's so tiresome.
Yeah.
Like if I was 22, fresh out of college, no kids, cool. But hopping on planes to do events and to come back and you can't decompress because the kids want all of your time. But he knows that. So he makes sure like I already put them down before you got here, or the girls already ate, or I already ordered food, so we didn't even got to stop. Like we built a rhythm to where he has that foresight now.
Right.
So he built that into the routine, but he's reaping the rewards as well.
Exactly.
So it's sacrifice, but it's also a lot of benefits to that too, because the business that we're building together, because I'm known, I'm able to bring in other contracts and it's like, okay, I brought this in, like you take the lead on this, and I'm just the administrative part. So I speak him in every room that I'm in. Whenever I have contracts or something that come up, I'm bringing him into the fold because I want him to be able to do this work as well. And it's easier because I'm the face. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what I'm going to say in regards to just the whole teamwork. I love it. Because like with me, my wife will always say she loves how I have this hustler mentality, you know, the whole, you know, what I'm doing with Smoooth Productions and just going out and doing this, doing that. While she's always been like the corporate person because she works in HR technology.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So she's like always in meetings with CEOs and whoever it is. So she's like that business person, corporate business person, while I'm like out there. Let's make a shot happen. Let's do some production. Let's do this. Let's do that. So I admire her for how she is and how she conducts her business, while she admires how I do things, you know, on my end. So it's definitely a beautiful thing. Talk about this moment right here.
That's my mom.
Okay.
Before, we were getting ready for the wedding. So I didn't have a bridal party. I did not want a bridal party. I had just had my maid of honor and he had his best man. And I wanted the morning to myself for my wedding. I stayed at the Renaissance Hotel by the airport by myself. Woke up, got coffee, played my praise and worship. Went and got my hair done, came back, and then my mom came and she brought my daughter. But this is like our historian. She loves learning about family history and connecting dots and making sure we take pictures because you just never know. She's the caretaker of the family. She's taking care of, both grandmothers before they passed, my grandfather before he passed. My mom also just she got diagnosed with stage 0 breast cancer at the end of last year. And she just ended her remission 3 weeks ago.
That's amazing.
She ended her remission 3 weeks ago. So they removed the cancer. Her lymph nodes are clear. All her testing is clear. So she's doing really, really good. My mom's doing good.
Shouts out to moms, man. Much love. And let's talk about this cool photo right here.
Jennifer. So, okay. Y'all know Ken Lock's finest, but this moment specifically for Essence Fest, like, this was my mission. I was like, yeah, I don't know where she's gonna be, but like, I want to meet. I've met her before. I was like, but I want to see her while I'm here. I was like, if y'all see Jennifer Lewis around, like, let me know, because everybody who worked on the social team were upstairs. We're not on the main floor in the convention center. And so somebody had texted the group chat and was like, hey, she's in the beauty con, like, backstage. So I run down there with another creator who was doing video at the time. And I was a little nervous because I'm like, some people just don't want to be bothered, and she'll go off at any minute. But I had went in there and I was like, Ken Lock's finest. And she was like, you don't know nothing about no Ken Lock. I said, who don't? I said, I am Pauline Flowers' granddaughter. And she just like held her chest and was like, oh my goodness. Because, okay, her mom and my grandmother were really close friends. They were part of the Wild Roses Social Club in Ken Lock.
Gotcha.
She was my dad's counselor at a summer camp. So she knows my aunts and uncles that had passed on. She knew my grandma. Her mom was at my grandmother's funeral. So she knows all of them. So she was trying to figure out which one was like my parent. It's like, which one's your mom? I was like, it's not my mom, my dad, Gerald. She was like, call him. So I was like, okay, so that's my phone that she's holding. So I call him, he didn't answer. Then I call my mom. I was like, where's dad? So both my daughters are in St. Louis at the time. And my youngest was potty training. So he was potty training my daughter while she's calling. So we call on FaceTime or whatever. And I said, Dad, look. And so they're having a conversation at Essence Fest. And a month later, that's when she got her star on the Walk of Fame in the Del Mar Loop. She invited my parents to come out, and it was on my birthday. So she invited my parents to come out, and she had like a private dinner across the street afterwards, and they got to go. And she told the story of how like she ran into me. There she go. Of how she ran into me at Essence Fest. So that's my mama. I didn't even know she was watching. Y'all,
hey, look at her. I love it.
Love you, mama.
No, that's dope. Then we have this photo here.
Tabitha! That's what happens when I just be talking. I really just be talking. So January 7th, 2025. I don't even know what. I really just be doing stuff, and I should probably put a hashtag to that. So I'm a huge fan of Tabitha. She's also on my Mount Rushmore of just like creatives that are famous just for being them, and it works because they have favor. And I had made a reel that was like, I'm always rooting for Tabitha just because of who she is. And I'm like, I ended it with like, we're going to work together. I'm going to have you on the other side of my lens. I don't know what it's going to be for, but I'm going to have you on the other side of my lens. And I closed my phone or whatever. Did I think she was going to see it? Yes. But did I think everything that unfolded after that was going to happen? No. So this was earlier in the day. So I made that video. I had a call with a prospective client. And I was preparing to come to St. Louis the next day to continue filming for Theater Roxanne. So this is January 7th. Like 7:00 that night, I opened my phone and was like, where are all these notifications coming from? So come to find out, she had seen the video and reposted it on her page.
Nice.
And I gained like 5,000 followers over the course of 2 days for people who were just like, I'm rooting for you. Like, I hope y'all end up working together. But she was a friend of mine that I had a call with the next day, was like, she's going to be here in March. She's getting honored at a luncheon. Did not know that. And I looked up the luncheon because the tickets were like $125 per person. Mind you, at the time, I'm still like laid off. So I'm like, I would like to go, but I don't know if I can go. So another creator who I've never met in real life was like, this is on my spirit to do. And Zelled me $500 and paid for my ticket.
Wow.
To the luncheon. Never met her. I met her at the luncheon. And I thanked her and was like, thank you so much for just putting me in the room. So there was so much favor around this weekend because this happened. And then I came to St. Louis. I finished a artist residency application because the deadline was that night. I ended up getting that residency. And then the conversation about BET happened the next day. This is all in the span of 3 days.
Love it.
So from January 7th on, it just, man.
And talk about for you being able to do the work that you do now, and it's something that you're passionate about. Talk about the importance for you, because I pretty much want to say right now you're living the American dream. You know what I'm saying? So talk about that feeling of not having to have that normal 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And you're doing something that you've been wanting to do.
Honestly, and I go back and forth because I was like, I run to safety and consistency. I was like, I would love because I need health insurance. Okay. I would love that, but it doesn't work out. And my mentor was like, I don't think that's meant for you. Like, you're putting too much belief in these systems that you have perceived to be safe for you. And you've learned time and time again that you can be released at a moment's notice. But my husband even said too, is we had, with family emergencies and with, my parents getting older, and be able to be nimble and be present for our daughters. Like, I would love to have more money, but being able to pop up at my daughter's school for a field trip, or go to my daughter's daycare for donuts with dad in the middle of the day is a luxury and a privilege that I won't ever take for granted. And so I'm grateful that me and my husband are able to spend time together in the daytime at home and ideate on things that we see for our future, and just the access that my kids have to me at any moment's notice.
Yeah.
I would like to keep that. So if I had to choose my time, I want to prioritize my time and just the access and the freedom that I have to move around. I would take that over the check. I want the check.
Right. Oh yeah. Right.
But I would take that over the check.
No, I love it. Talk about this special moment that I know meant a lot to you.
You really trying to make me cry. At the same time as the January 7th weekend when I was home, my daughter went to altar call at church. So my husband accompanied her to the altar. She made the decision to give her life to Christ. And so Easter weekend last year, April 18th, this was her baptism. So we attend Concord Church in Dallas, and my father-in-law is the one that's baptizing her.
Wow.
So it was a very, very special moment because it was her decision. All this was her decision. So we had a lot of friends come out and support her. Yeah. Y'all don't make me cry. It's cool because I ain't got on no makeup no way.
And let's talk about this one right here.
My tutti booty. That's my tutu. That's my Demi Ray. That's my miracle baby. Like I said, we got diagnosed with infertility and went through IVF. It was interesting. Like, I had my cousin is the first Black woman who I witnessed go through IVF. Like, a lot of Black women don't talk about it, even how it's depicted as like it's a white woman's experience, but there are so many women that are experiencing infertility and choose the IVF route. And even there was so much favor over this. Like, IVF is extremely expensive. And at the time I wasn't working, but when I got diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, that paused our IVF journey because I had to wait to get into remission. But in that wait, I ended up finding a job in tech, and that insurance covered my entire IVF process. Like
your girl said, favor.
Yeah. And so that is Demi Ray, born January 26, 2023 on my living room floor.
Ooh.
My living room floor. That was not the plan.
Clean up on aisle.
Man, no, literally. My husband had to clean all of that up. I got out the shower. I was putting my clothes on to head to the hospital. I walked in the kitchen. I said, Devin, we're not gonna make it. My water broke in the kitchen. Pulled my pants. I went over to, we have like this not a medicine ball, but like the large exercise ball.
Yeah.
I got on all fours and I just rocked back and forth. And because we did childbirth education classes,
he was already ready.
We knew what to do. So I knew not to be on my back because that defies gravity. He had my doula on the phone. He had the paramedic on the other phone. And they walked me through, and she was pushed out in 15 minutes. Happy, healthy, safe. Then we ended up going to the hospital, was there for a day and a half, came home, and now we're 4, and she causing all havoc.
Here we go.
Man.
But no, this has been amazing. This has been an amazing conversation. So it took a year, but it was God's plan for it to happen like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that we was able to finally connect.
Me too.
And have this moment here. So
this was fun.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you. So do you have any advice for creatives?
Ooh, I like lean into it. I don't want to leave this world full. Like the rag, just wrench it all out. Like if I'm big on conviction, so if there's something in your spirit that's just been sitting on that you want to get out into the world, do it. If money is an issue or time is an issue, like all of this stuff is figure outable. And I say all the time, like all of this is not rocket science, but even rocket science can be figured out because we have rocket scientists. Like you have your hands, you put your hands on it, you can make it work. So whether it be building a team around you to share your vision with, like executing, do not let these days go by. Because as you've seen, none of this is promised. And you get to a point to where it's like, you leave this earth full. Do not leave this earth full. Like the world needs your art. The world needs your work. The world needs your passion. And I've been told several times how the work that I'm doing has ignited something in somebody else to get something out into the world. So there's people in the world who are not able to start because you haven't started yours. So do with that what you will.
And how can people reach out to you? And after that, special shout outs.
Yeah, Instagram at I am Alana Marie. TikTok, I'm not as active, but at I am _Alana Marie on LinkedIn, Alana Marie Woodson, MSW. Shout outs. Of course, my husband, my life partner, my parents, my brothers, my family that are still here, my niece and my nephew, my mentor, Marty, the group chat. I'm in several group chats, but I have a strong women. The women in my life, it was a prayer of mine. There was a group of women that I prayed over of like who I knew either in passing or like our husbands were cool. But I wanted my own intentional relationship with these women. And we've gotten closer over the years. So I thank the group chat. My cousins that are down in Dallas that are from St. Louis, that's another group chat for just continuing to know the ins and outs of the stuff that I don't talk about on social and just keep me level-headed. But I'm very blessed. I'm very rich in relationship. And for that, I am grateful.
Very, very wealthy. Mm-hmm. And your girl says, like, how can you not love her? I'm so proud to call her.
Yeah, I better have my nose ready. Stop. Thanks, friend.
So let's take away just for a moment, you being a documentary filmmaker, take away education, take away the thing that you have gone through with your previous health scares, take away being a daughter, take away being a mother, take away someone who loves the cameras. Who is Alana Marie Woodson?
My husband took that photo. I'm a pebble. I'm small but mighty. And I don't want to change the world, but I know I can change my corner of the world. And what happens is when you put a pebble in a pond, the ripple effect is large. And so I know my impact and I know my influence is paramount. And that's not on no cocky stuff. It's just my calling over my life. I'm stepping into it and I'm walking it and I'm being obedient. And I know that about myself. And I feel like if more people were aware of the power that you possess and the influence that you have, the world could be a better place. But I'm a pebble.
Love it. So with that being said, strongly encourage everyone to scan the QR code or go to smoothproductions.com, smooth with 3 O's, and connect with yours truly. You'll see all the socials. You'll see all the links I have. And just let's lock in. Let's collab. Let's connect. Anything and all things with Smoooth Productions. This has been another great smooth conversation.
This was good.
With Alana Marie. Smooth conversation where the conversations are always smooth. Excuse me, as I said before. excuse me, I had a little something in my throat. But Ashley, Nicole, once again, let's collab. You got the information right there by scanning the QR code. Everyone else, let's connect. Let's do some amazing things. And if you haven't seen this show before, outside of this show, there's almost 2 years worth of shows archived on YouTube. So go to Smoooth Conversations on YouTube. We pull up the page real quick so you can see. But go to Smoooth Conversations. Once again, you got to put in 3 O's, y'all. You put in 2, ain't gonna be the right one. So 3 O's is Smoooth. Check out the archives of so many great shows, just like this one was today. And this be you'll be impressed and you'll be touched by the stories that so many people have been so willing to share on Smoooth Conversations. So thank you very much once again, Alana.
Thank you.
And have a great event tomorrow.
Thank you.
Everyone else, stay tuned for many more things coming from Smoooth Productions. Once again, Smoooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth.
What you have just experienced was brought to you by Smoooth Productions. Until next time, stay tuned and stay smooth.